Brewster, Steve Leedy, Matt Demme, and Mark Arnold on the sideline with the WMSS wireless microphone. Scott Bingaman, Tim Starlipper, studio engineer is Justin Perry. The Middletown Blue Raiders and the Palmyra Cougars. And Brian, the Middletown Blue Raiders the last several years have pretty much dominated Palmyra. In fact, in the last 5 meetings between these two teams, the Cougars have scored only 7 points.
Well, the last time Palmyra's beaten this Middletown team was back in 1985. They were victorious in that game by a score of 6-0. And Middletown really has enjoyed a lot of success against this Palmyra team. The least points they've scored against Palmyra in the last 6 outings was 27 points, and really how Middletown has cranked up the offense, you can really expect to see some of the same tonight. This is a Palmyra team that trying to build the numbers up. As we heard from Fred Poorman, the coach of Palmyra, in the pregame, they're trying to get people out for their team. Only 30 guys out this year.
The Raiders kick off from left to right. Palmyra on the return and out to the 25-yard line where Palmyra will start out. I believe it was Kreider on the return. And the Cougars, a lot of young players and I should say a team that doesn't have too many players on it as well, about 30 on this roster for Palmyra. Fred Poorman in his second year here at Palmyra. He's a coaching veteran in this area, many years out at Elko High School. The quarterback is Stauffer. He's got the give up the middle and a gain of a couple yards. Carry was by Kohler, and you can expect Greg Kohler, the 5'8 senior, is going to get a lot of the rushing action today. Palmyra using that wishbone.
Let's quickly set the backfield. The quarterback is Matt Stauffer. The running backs are Greg Kohler and Chad Kuhn. The fullback is Dan Kreider, and your split end is Brian Shelton.
And it's a 2nd and 9 from the 26 for Palmyra. Quick pitch to the outside. And sweeping to the right, picking up a couple is Kuhn. He'll get out to about the 29-yard line. It will bring up a 3rd and 6 for Palmyra.
Starting offensive line for Palmyra at the tight end position is Brandon Tedder, Darian Block, Clifton Jones, Todd Manos, Ryan Schmidt, and Brian O'Boyle are your 5 interior linemen.
3rd and 6 for Palmyra. Stauffer over center from his own 29. We're just underway. Middletown and Palmyra. A lot of movement on the line, but no flag thrown. It seemed pretty much as if the ball was snapped earlier than what anyone was expecting.
Well, that's a situation where the center forgot the snap count, and only a couple guys were able to block. In fact, it looked like out of the entire field, only 5 or 6 guys were moving, and most of them from Middletown all around the ball carrier. And that brings up 4th down. A mental mistake early from Palmyra in a road game, in a game that they are outgunned, it appears, at least at the outset, by Middletown.
Well, last week against Hershey, we saw Middletown special teams return the football real well, and this one will be taken by Blasi at his own 40-yard line. He'll go back the other way. He's at the 45. He'll get to the 50 and tackled in Palmyra territory at the 47-yard line. So Middletown on its first possession will start out an excellent field position, 1st and 10 at the Palmyra 48-yard line.
A good punt that time for Palmyra for the most part. And the coverage on that one, it was Blasi making a move to the right and then coming back and getting a nice block on the backside by Jan Michael Lawrence to spring him for about 8 yards on that return.
So Middletown, 1st and 10. Blasi making a call from line of scrimmage, split backfield, gives to Coleman, sweeping left, finds a hole inside the 45 to about the 42-yard line.
Quickly setting the Middletown offense in the backfield. You've got the quarterback, Chris Blasi, the halfback, Gary Coleman. Fullback is J.J. Baker. Your wingback in this offense is Jesse Dupes. And your split ends will move in and out, but the start tonight goes to Brian Sayers.
Raiders on a 2nd and 5. Coleman and Baker behind the quarterback Blasi. Wing to the near side will be Dupes. Coleman goes in motion, back to pass. Blasi looking across the middle, can't find. Down the near side, caught by Jesse Dupes, but he will get back to the line of scrimmage. Able to maybe pick out an extra yard on the second and third effort.
Well, he was stopped for a good loss of maybe half a yard to even a yard at one point, and just kept trying to pull away. One Palmyra player had his arms around the ankle of Dupes, and Dupes just good courage, keep going forward and pull, and finally got a couple yards out of that play.
3rd and 3 for the Raiders at the 41 of Palmyra. Give left side, J.J. Baker finds a hole, picks up the first down, and spun down at the 35-yard line of Palmyra. No score, 7:44 to play, first quarter. Middletown with the football. Brian Widener in there at center tonight for the Middletown Blue Raiders. He's missed the last few games with an injury. Shirk had replaced him, and now Shirk appears to be the injured one, and luckily Widener is healthy again and back in there at that center spot.
We'll set the rest of that offensive line after this play.
Double wing, single setback, split to the near side. 1st and 10 for Middletown at the 35 of Palmyra. Motion by Dupes. He'll get the carry, sweeping right. Now decides to cut outside. He'll get some extra room at the 30, the 25, and down at the 20-yard line out of bounds.
Well, it's a good thing we're going to set the rest of that offensive line, because Mike Dupes, the left guard, really put a beautiful block on that sweep play. Dupes used him perfectly, waited for Dupes. Jesse Dupes used Mike Dupes perfectly, waited for him to set up that block, and got a big block in. The rest of that offensive line, Craig Rowell at left tackle. You've got Steve Rare at right guard, and the right tackle is Ed Fox. Josh Schiavone, the starting tight end.
Timeout on the field, 7:10 to play. First quarter, no score, Middletown and Palmyra. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network. Now you can catch the excitement of Blue Raider football on videotape. The Blue Raiders Sports Network and the Middletown Athletic Department presents Middletown football on VHS. All the games, home or away, recorded on videotape with the actual WMSS broadcast. Save all the exciting moments of Middletown football for years to come. Each tape costs just $10, and proceeds benefits WMSS Student Radio and Middletown Athletics. You'll never miss a game again. Tapes available at all Middletown home games or by calling the Middletown Recreation and Athletic Office. Get your Middletown football game tape today. Welcome back. Middletown Memorial Field. John Wilsbach and Brian Kaiser. 1st and 10 for Middletown at the 20-yard line of Palmyra. Give to Coleman. He's going to sweep left. He cuts inside. He's at the 15, and he's down at the 10-yard line. Gary Coleman saw the hole just inside the left end and decided to follow the blocks and close to another first down.
Just good line blocking there from the Raiders on that left side. They've been going to that left side, mixing it up pretty well. They've come back with the sweep to Dupes on the right side, but a lot of the running going behind Craig Rowell and also Mike Dupes over there on the left side of the offensive line. And good blocking there set up that Coleman run.
2nd and 1 for the Raiders at the 11 of Palmyra. Backs are split. Coleman, Baker. Wing far side is Dupes. Chris Blasi. He'll give to Coleman, sweeping to the left side, tries a fake. Looked like he fumbled the football for a moment and then fell on it for a first down. I don't know, did he have it the whole time?
No, it looked like he had it the whole time. The problem was he tried to make a one-on-one move on Stauffer, the cornerback on the far side, tried to make a move on the Palmyra defender by himself, and his lineman, his guard, Mike Dupes, saw that, tried to get over and block in time, and just as Coleman went forward, Dupes came over to make the hit, and they collided into each other, and that just sort of sent Coleman forward.
The way he lunged forward, it kind of looked odd. It's a 1st and goal to go for the Middletown Blue Raiders from the 7. Give to Baker, off left tackle. He's in for the touchdown. J.J. Baker. 7-yard touchdown carry, and the Raiders lead it 6-0.
And you can pretty much forget about it if you've got J.J. Baker. The key to stopping him is you've got to get penetration up the middle. And just, again, tremendous line blocking from the Blue Raiders up front, following the left side of that line between Widener, Dupes, and Rowell on that left side. Big hole for Baker, and he had clear sailing into the end zone.
J.J. Baker on a tear with touchdowns, had 4 last week, if I'm not mistaken, against Hershey.
He's en fuego inside the red zone.
All right, Chris Blasi on to do the extra point kick. There's Here's the snap, hold, kick is blocked. And we've got a 6-0 ball game with 5:56 to play here in the first quarter.
And the block, it looked like making the block from the left side was Brandon Kane, a 6'2", junior, 185 pounds, just blew through the right side of the Middletown extra point team and got in there, got his body on the ball, and Blanche just did not have enough time to get that one away.
You know, one thing I've never understood on extra points, especially crucial extra points in any game, you know, you're not out that far like a long field goal. Why they don't back up the holder and the kicker a few extra yards on?
Well, that's basically because of the continuity that the long snapper has. They have a special length that they have to shoot the ball back. And if you've got them adjusting that based on the size of the kick, that's going to throw off your entire timing to the entire play. And it also gives your defense a little bit more of an angle possibly to come in from the side. And just based on those couple of things, you've got to keep that consistent distance. I mean, it would be a good idea if you could pull it off with a long snapper that had that kind of range, that kind of accuracy from different ranges, but you've got to keep that continuity.
Raiders kicking off from left to right. Blasey, nice, high, end over end, taken near side by Kohler. He's up to the 25, has some room, and a flag is thrown. Meanwhile, to the 30, to the 35, and knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line, but I believe it's going to come back for a hold or a clip.
Unfortunately for Palmyra, a good return. They set up the wedge perfectly to the right side of the field, and that's where the return man Kohler took the ball, but an illegal block against Palmyra, and it looked like it was against Steve Rare, very close to the sideline where Kohler made his original cut.
We'll be talking with Steve Rare coming up at halftime here on the Blue Raider Sports Network.
That touchdown drive for Middletown, 7 plays, 48 yards. It took 3 minutes and 38 seconds, culminating in the 7-yard touchdown run from J.J. Baker. Again, the extra point was blocked. 6-0 Middletown is our score.
I was asking Steve Rare what he likes doing outside of football, and he says he likes to race motorcycles, do a lot of dirt racing on motorcycles. You can see Dennis Etsy sitting there just cringing as he said it. He said, but I've given it up during the football season so I don't get injured. First and 10 for Palmyra. They have the football, I should say, well, they have it about their own 13-yard line. Give to the right side, and it's going to be Kuhn getting back to the line of scrimmage. It will bring up a 2nd down and 10 for Palmyra.
Unfortunately for Palmyra, they're trying to run the football right now, and against Middletown's interior defense, they just have too much size up front. The numbers are out for Middletown. They've got a program firmly set in place. Palmyra's trying to build up their program with only 30 guys out for football. You really need those big guys up front who have the capabilities of blocking in a Middletown front four, and it's just not happening right now for the running game.
2nd and 10 up the middle. It'll be Kohler. And he will only gain a couple yards out to about the 15-yard line. It will bring up a 3rd and 8 for Palmyra.
Craig Rao in on the tackle that time, just threw his big arms around the feet, brought the runner down.
Middletown with a 6-0 lead, courtesy of a 7-yard touchdown carry by J.J. Baker. This time, Palmyra has a split backfield. Passing to the right side. Stauffer overthrows the intended receiver. I believe he was looking for Kohler again.
So I think it was his tight end, Brandon Tedder, on that play.
You're correct.
He was going out into the flat, just overthrown a little bit. Pressure put on blind side that time by Josh Schiavone. He was coming on a weak side linebacker blitz.
So the punting unit comes in once again for Palmyra. Chad Kuhn back at his own 3-yard line. High snap, he pulls it down, has time. Unloads a long one. Jesse Dupes fumbles it, but it's picked up by Blasey at his own 45. Blasey dodges a couple tackles, cross midfield, and tackled at the 43-yard line of Palmyra.
You know, John, we saw it last week with Blasey. He's becoming a very dangerous return man back there, where he can take a play that looks broken at first and just bust the thing. And Dukes couldn't come up with that catch on because the ball was punted over to him. Another decent punt there from Kuhn. Pressure put up the middle by Ed Foxy. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see him block a punt tonight sometime, but Blasey making something out of nothing, picking the ball up and getting as much yard as he can right up the middle of the field.
First and 10 for Middletown. Blasey is back to pass. He'll throw, and it's tapped up in the air by Palmyra, incomplete. Overthrew the intended receiver, Brian Sayers, and almost getting a paw on it. Should say did get a paw on it, but couldn't pull it down was Brian Shelton.
You know, these uniform numbers of Palmyra already drive me nuts. You know, they just have these orange, very light orange on the white background, and it's very difficult to see. You know, a little bit of black lettering around the outside would be perfect, but Shelton just could not come up with a pick on that play. A good play there for Palmyra. They had double coverage.
Second and 10, give up the middle, J.J. Baker. He's at the 40, he's at the 35, the 30. Breaks a tackle down to the 25-yard line.
And again, going back to his touchdown run, just no penetration from the Palmyra defensive front, and that just opens up a big hole from Baker. And when Baker gets that momentum going, there's just no stopping him. You got to go for his legs, and that's eventually what Palmyra was able to do, but very far down the field.
3:40 to play here in the first quarter, 6-0 Middletown. Raiders first and 10 at the 25 of Palmyra. Backs are split with a wing to the near side. Blasey will give to Coleman, sweeping to the right side, decides to cut it up the middle, gets down inside the 20, and down at the 17-yard line. It'll be about a yard shy of a first down.
Mark Sevenak coming into the ball game from Middletown, bringing a play in, and he's going to be running at a flanker position on this play as Bob Fitzgerald, the tight end, comes out. And this is Sevenak, is a lot of Middletown fans will remember, started the season as the starting quarterback for Middletown, just to be replaced by Blasey.
A twins to the near side. Blasey will give up the middle. J.J. Baker again finds the hole and busts his way down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be a first and goal to go for Middletown.
Gosh, they loved it. They just love that play. When the quick give, and it's a little bit of an option look as the quarterback continues to fake with the option to the left side. But they just give that ball to Baker, and he just follows his blockers, following Widener and Dupes right now into that into the hole on the left side of the offensive line.
First and goal to go for the Raiders from the 8-yard line. Backs are split, wing far side, split near side. Blasey, long count, gives to Coleman, sweeping left, cuts back inside. He's down inside the 5. He's down to the goal line. Touchdown! Gary Coleman, 8-yard carry, and the Raiders now lead at 12-0.
Just a great nose for the goal line that time by Gary Coleman. He went around the left side. It looked like there wasn't much there. Makes a nice, quick knifing cut to the inside and right down the heart of the Palmyra defense for the touchdown, diving the last yard into the end zone. And interesting to see what Middletown's going to do here. They may just go for 2 to try to get that extra point that they missed earlier back.
Raiders are looking for the 2-point conversion. They lead at 12-0 with 2:01 to play in the first quarter.
Wouldn't be surprised to see them go right back to J.J. Baker. They've been running the ball so well with him.
Well, they're going to give it, no, Blasey's going to keep. Play action, rolls right, throws deep in the end zone, way over the head of Schiavone. It's incomplete, but there is a flag and holding against Middletown, so it will be declined, and the Raiders will be kicking off against Palmyra with a 12-0 lead.
Well, maybe they should have went with the run. I mean, the shortest run from Middletown in this ballgame, stat given us by our statistician, Steve Leedy, 4 yards, and you're only going 3 yards for the 2-point conversion. And on that play, just an overthrow. He had 3 guys in the end zone, and probably the one who was most open was J.J. Baker, who was standing right at the goal line. But Blasey chose to go to his tight end, Schiavone, in the backfield. That drive for Middletown, 5 plays, 43 yards that time. It took 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and that ended in the Gary Coleman touchdown run of 8 yards. And again, another miscue on the conversion for Middletown, and that leaves the score at 12-0.
We'll be checking in with our Matt Dummy in just a few moments. Oh, no, we won't. But we will be checking with him later on down the sideline with the wireless microphone.
Chris Blasi doing the kickoff duties for Middletown. That was a move, and Blasi really getting a lot of play in this Middletown team. He's a junior. He's a guy that's going to be back next year for this Middletown team at probably both kicker and quarterback and possibly defensive back next year. I mean, this is a very talented player, and we're seeing a lot more of what he can do now going into the season as he's involved in more of a role in the leadership of this team.
Blasi kicking off. End over end again. It's fumbled, but picked back up at the 25-yard line by Kohler. Out across the 35 to the 40, spins off a man out to the 45, and finally brought down at the 48-yard line by Tretter, but an excellent return by Kohler.
Now, if there's one thing that we can say bad about Middletown at this point, it's their kickoff coverage in this ball game. This is the third time that really Palmyra has been able to set up the blocking just how they wanted it. And Kohler had good blocking, just needed one little hole to sneak through and did that. And eventually it was Tretter with the help by the safety man Coleman on that kickoff return, bringing it down just short of midfield.
Matt Stauffer has backs in the eye. Back to pass, looking right. He's going to throw down the right sideline, but it is incomplete. The intended receiver being Teeter, and actually Teeter well covered on the play. I think a Raider, either Lawrence or
It was
Tretter,
Michael Lawrence on that play, and a great play by Lawrence as he used the fact that the ball was being thrown to the outside, and he was already on the outside of his receiver. He was between the receiver and the ball, and he just shielded his receiver off the entire time and was able to keep himself between Tedder and the ball.
2nd and 10 for Palmyra with 1:28 to play here in this first quarter. A trips to the near side for the Cougars. Stauffer back to pass under some pressure. He's going to unload down the near side. He has a man, but overthrows and out of bounds. Incomplete.
One thing we've noticed here, it seems obvious that Palmyra realizes that they're not going to be able to run the ball against this Middletown team. And we've seen this in the past. The way to beat a Middletown defense most of the time, unless you have a very dominating offensive line, the way to beat a Middletown team is through the air. And they're trying to throw the long pass, get the big play to get their team back into this ball game. And now it gives them a 3rd down and long, the one thing they didn't want.
3rd and 10 from the 48 for Palmyra. Stauffer back to pass. He's got pressure. Throws across the middle. Intercepted by Sevenak. Hit the 40, to the 45, to the 50, 45, 40. Knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Mark Sevenak, and now you can see why he's been lining up at wide receiver a little bit lately. I think that's his 2nd interception of the season.
That's correct, John. And it just a great play by Sevenak, and this is a guy who's really impressed me in the secondary the last few weeks. Coach Dennis Etsy does not like to play his quarterbacks a lot of times in the backfield, and when Sevenak started the year as the starting quarterback, he was not playing in the secondary. Now, since Sevenak has moved out of the starting quarterback spot, Blasi in. Blasi was the starter in the secondary at the beginning of the year. Now it's Sevenak, and Sevenak's played very well the last few games in the secondary.
1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 41 of Palmyra. Blasi back to pass. He's going to throw on the slant into Sevenak, but it is incomplete. I'll tell you, that was close to pass interference, but no flag thrown as Brian Shelton nailed him just as he was going to touch that football.
On a play like that, you really have to give the edge to the defensive player on that play. He was there maybe a split second early, but in a high school game, you really have to give them the benefit of the doubt in that play. And, I mean, if you don't get called for it, good play from Shelton.
Sevenak comes back to the sideline now. His return was of 22 yards a few moments ago. Counter crisscross in the backfield. Jesse Dukes is going to get the call. He's got some room to the near side. He's at the 40. Tries getting past the man. Checked out at the 30. And he's taken down at the 27-yard line.
John, that play's a touchdown if Josh Schiavone doesn't slip up at tight end. He had his block. He was ready to make it. And at the last second just slipped before he was able to get there. And, I mean, Dukes was over there led by Blasi, and it was going to be Schiavone, and there were 2 defenders over there only for Palmyra. Blasi made his block, and the man who wasn't able to be blocked made the tackle.
Raiders this time, full house backfield with Dukes, Baker, and Coleman all across. Baker off left tackle will pick up the 1st down inside the 25. to about the 22-yard line. 20 seconds remaining, first quarter. Middletown leading 12-0 here at Middletown Memorial Field. Glad to have you along tonight. And light breeze kind of blowing this evening. They had a beautiful day today, but it's going to get chillier as the night goes on. I assume the grass will get a little bit slippier. Slippery. Can you say that word for me?
Slipperier.
Slippery. We'll see. First and 10 for the Raiders at the 21 of Palmyra. It could be the last play here.
They're not going to get it off.
No, they won't. We've got timeout. End of one quarter play. Our score, Middletown 12 and Palmyra nothing. Steve Leedy has the second quarter of play-by-play. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Talk about service.
People are really friendly, and they are very helpful. They help you find what you need.
Talk about value.
I've saved as high as $25, $30 in 1 week.
Talk about quality freshness.
Delis, fresh, everything's fresher.
Let's talk about all the reasons why Fox's Market make you feel good. Fox's Market.
Fox's is a proud supporter of Middletown athletics.
Make you feel good. Fox's Market make you feel good.
And welcome back, Middletown Memorial Field. Steve Lee along with Brian Kaiser here for the second quarter of play. Middletown leads by a score of 12-0, and the Middletown running game has been unstoppable so far tonight.
No question about it. You just have guys up front in this Middletown front six, because quite honestly, for Middletown, the tight end is an offensive lineman. And you've got Josh Schiavone at the tight end position. You've got Craig Brown, Mike Dukes, Brian Widener back from injury, just been blocking tremendously from the center position. You've got Steve Rarer and Ed Fox. The front six in Middletown blowing away the defense right now for Palmyra. J.J. Baker, he's a tank. And they're just running the ball so well so far in this first half and in this first quarter that Chris Blasi really has not had to throw the ball, and that's good because he's been a little off on the passing game so far.
Middletown breaks out, split backfield. Handoff's going to go to Coleman. He's coming around near side. Flag thrown. Picks up a few yards. And we'll have to see what the yellow cloth on the field's all about.
Well, the timing of it looks like a holding call against Middletown, but that's what it's going to be. I know it looked like the area where Mike Dukes was. Did not see if he was holding on the play, but a lot of times it's a very tough block for that pulling guard to get out there. The first guy over there really has to try to swing around his player and make sure that that player doesn't get to the outside of him, so it opens up the outside for the running back. And that time, the tendency is to sometimes get to the outside, and if you can't quite get there, try to grab the guy that you're trying to block, pull him to the inside of you, and that might be what the holding call was there.
Split near side on 1st and 19. Wing near side split backfield is Baker and Coleman. Blasi, the quarterback. Takes snap, pitches far side to Coleman. Coleman's going to cut to the near side, to the middle of the field, and bulldozes over a few Palmyra players with a pickup of about 6 yards on a play.
Excellent adjustment from Coleman and also the Middletown offensive line. That quick pitch, the tight end, the tackle, and the pulling guard are supposed to get out there as quickly as they can and try to seal off the outside for Coleman so he can get to the outside. That's the intention of the play. Well, that time, Schiavone, the tight end, realized he was not going to be able to get out and seal off the outside. He pushed the block to the outside, opening up the inside for Coleman to cut back inside and pick up some good yardage.
We'll call it a 2nd and 13 for Middletown, and confusion out on the field for the Blue Raiders, and Chris Blasi calls a timeout for the Raiders. We'll take one as well. 10:44 left to play in the second quarter. It's Middletown 12, Palmyra nothing. You're listening to the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Metzler's Hillsdale Nursery in Londonderry Township has a variety of plants and flowers like hollies and azaleas. They sell young plum and crabapple trees. In December, don't forget that Metzler's has Christmas trees. They even have mulch. Metzler's is open 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. weekdays, 8 till 5 on Saturdays. That's Metzler's Hillsdale Nursery at Hillsdale Road and Gyers Church Road near Sunset Golf Course in Londonderry Township.
back. Middletown Memorial Field. Middletown leads by a score of 12-0. This is Middletown's 10th quarter of Mid-Penn Division II play, and the defense has still not yielded a point to a Mid-Penn Division II opponent. Middletown hasn't given up a first down tonight either.
And also, it doesn't look like anybody from Mid-Penn 2 so far is able to stop the Middletown offense, especially the ground game. Gary Coleman, J.J. Baker, a real rebirth ever since they got into Mid-Penn 2 play. Just a scoring barrage from the Middletown offense so far in divisional.
Tight ends to both sides, wing to the near side, split backfield. Blasey over center on 2nd and 13. Handoff goes to Baker. He just crushes through a few people and picks up a few yards on the play. Almost got back to the original line of scrimmage where Middletown started this set. It'll be 3rd and about 11. A pickup of 2.
And we mentioned the key to stopping J.J. Baker was the penetration from the defensive line, and they got it that time, did Palmyra, in the form of Clifton Jones, defensive tackle. He's a 6-foot, 220-pound senior, and he did a good job making the penetration that helped stop Baker.
3rd and 10, handoff goes to Coleman, makes a few nice cutting moves down to the 10-yard line, and that's a heck of a run by Gary Coleman. Looks like he picked up the first down, and yes, he did.
That's just a great play from Middletown. A good call, as they called a little bit of counter motion that time, where they fake one way and then give the handoff going the other way up the middle with Coleman. A little misdirection play, and Coleman darts in and out so well on that defense that he picked up big yardage again. First down for Middletown.
3 backs straight across the backfield. Dupes, Baker, and Coleman. On 1st and goal from the 9. Handoff goes to Baker around the left side. Gets down to the 5, and looks like he's going to be stopped at the 4 by Kohler of Palmyra.
And Kohler did a nice job by getting underneath Baker that time. But again, it looks like the Palmyra defensive front is just caving into the Middletown offensive line, and they've got the huge blockers either way, double tight end this time for Middletown.
Split backfield, handoff goes to Baker. He's got a big hole, and he's in for another touchdown. J.J. Baker with a 4-yard run. It's 18-0 in favor of Middletown.
Nobody even touched Baker that time. Once again, just a great blocking from the left side of the Middletown offensive line. Opens up a huge hole, and Baker's 2nd touchdown of the night.
His first one was of 7 yards midway through the first quarter. Now he scores again with 9:04 of the play in the 2nd. And now Middletown will line up for the 2-point conversion. Try to make up for those missed points after earlier touchdowns. Blasey has Baker in the backfield. Coleman's the wing to the far side, and he has Sayers split to the far side. Blasey's going to drop back. He's going to pass. Passes to Schiavone, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. So 9:04 left to play in the 2nd quarter. We'll take time out with the score. Middletown. Oh, hold on, we got flags on the field.
Not sure what that's going to be, but obviously it's against Middletown.
Yes, we'll go against Middletown.
As on that play, it was a well-designed play, I'll tell you that much. A well-designed play for Middletown, as it's so difficult to defend that tight end coming off the line on the quick out when the wide receiver's over there on the right side, clearing out the cornerback and allowing the tight end to make a quick break to the outside and opening up the outside. But the 5-yard penalty on Middletown, we'll call it illegal motion on the play. And because of that, Middletown will try it once again. 2-point conversion from the 8.
Blasey over center, has Baker in the backfield. He'll get the give, and he runs up the middle, untouched. No flags on the field this time, so it's safe to take a timeout with 9:04 left to play in the 2nd quarter. Middletown 20, Palmyra 0. Here on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
They're America's Most Wanted, and if you're in need of a haircut, style cut, or perm, you can find America's Most Wanted. Their names are Doug, Bob, Sherry, Nancy, and Virginia. They can be found at the Olmsted Plaza Barber Shop and Beauty Shop. They have the look for every man, woman, and kid. Middletowners want them, and Middletowners find them at the Olmsted Plaza Barber Shop and Beauty Shop at the James Way Plaza. Open Mondays through Thursdays from 9 until 7, Friday from 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 3.
Welcome back, Middletown Memorial Field. Middletown leads by a score of 20-0 over the Palmyra Cougars. Middletown set to kick off again.
And on that two-point conversion the second time around, Middletown, you know, and that's the play that works so well. And then they go that little dive play, and this time they went off the right side behind your center, who's done a great job coming off injury tonight, Brian Widener, and also the guard over there, Steve Rare, Ed Fox, the tackle on that right side. They're overshadowed a lot by Dukes and Rao on the left side, but just great blocking again for Middletown. Belabor the point over and over again, but just great blocking Middletown offensive line.
Kickoff taken by Kohler at the 15-yard line as a whole. Gets out to the 35, still on his feet at the 40, 41-yard line. And Middletown's been having a little bit of problems covering kickoffs here tonight.
We mentioned that before, that last touchdown drive for Middletown, 8 plays, 36 yards, 4 minutes and 8 seconds, and J.J. Baker's second touchdown of the night, a 4-yard touchdown plunge, and it gives Middletown a 20-0 lead after he also converted the two-point conversion, that from 8 yards out.
Palmyra comes out 1st and 10 from their own 41. Wishbone set backfield. Stauffer will keep it. Now he'll pitch it to Kohler, running around the far side. Picks up a good number of yards here. Looks like he'll pick up about 8 on the play. Not sure where they're going to spot yet. Looks like about an 8-yard pickup. We'll call it 9 for Kohler.
And for Palmyra, Kohler's a very quick back, very talented back. He's not real big, though, so it's important for Palmyra to get him space so he can get into the open field and make some moves, use his quickness to his advantage. And they were going with runs closer to the line of scrimmage, closer to the middle of the interior of the defense with Kohler before. This time they used his speed to the outside and got 9 yards on it.
Now Coons the single setback, and he'll get the give in the backfield, and he bursts through the line and able to pick up the first down. That's Palmyra's first down of the night. Pick up a 4 by Coons.
And a good play call there as they went with the dive up the middle. You want to get that first down. A lot of times on the second down and short yardage, a lot of coaches like to go with a little bit of a passing situation there, but it's a good play for Palmyra to make sure they get their first down when they can. Get a little bit of momentum going on offense to make sure they have an opportunity to keep it going.
Fred Poorman had the other 2 Ks in the triple K backfield, Kohler and Kreider, on the near side, lined up his split ends.
And that spreads out the defense and opens up the inside a little more for that dive.
That's 1st and 10 for Palmyra from the Middletown 47. Stauffer will drop back to pass this time, throws a little screen pass to, looks like it's Kuhn, and it's dropped incomplete. And I just had my first dose of the Palmyra uniforms and how difficult they are to read.
Very true, Steve. And just on that play, it just didn't look like Kuhn wanted to. He didn't want to catch that one because J.J. Baker was a locomotive who had skipped the track, and he was headed right at Coons. And in that situation, running back, you're going to lose yardage anyway. Just let the ball on the ground and hope you get out of the way of Baker in time.
Bring up a 2nd and 10 from the Middletown 47 with 8:06 left to play in the first half. Stauffer has split to the near side. He'll drop back. He's looking to pass. Fires and completes a pass to the far side. Oh boy, I can't tell.
That's going to be his tight end, Brandon Teeter. Teeter with a pickup of 9 yards on that play, and a good play call. You use your very poised quarterback. That's one thing I've been impressed about Matt Stauffer. He looks like he has total control of this offense. It's not working too well right now against Middletown, but a couple first downs if they can pick this one up and maybe get a little bit of momentum going on offense against this Middletown defense.
3rd and short. Stauffer will be caught in the backfield and dropped by Craig Rao. Pick up a 4th down play for the Cougars.
And that's just that's as much as I like the play call before on the second down in short yards. That's how much I don't like that play call there from Fred Poorman. 3rd down and very short yardage. You're moving the ball at least well enough to make Middletown keep it honest. And on that situation, they go with the drop-back pass, no blocking up the middle, and they did the worst thing they could do, and that's take a quarterback sack.
Wing to the far side, split to the far side. Stauffer going to drop back a pass on 4th and 7, being chased by a few Raiders. Almost gets the pass to his man. Can't quite see who it was intended for.
I believe it was for out of the backfield.
As Kohler.
It was Kohler coming out of the backfield on that play.
Looks like he lost his balance trying to turn around looking for the ball, and
I'll tell you who else lost his balance, and that was Stauffer, because, again, just not a lot of blocking up front from his offensive line, and he was under pressure from the get-go on that one. Scrambled to the left and barely got the ball away, let alone complete the pass.
So Middletown takes over on it on their own 43-yard line. Split backfield, handoff goes to Baker up the middle. Big hole again, across midfield to the 45-yard line. J.J. Baker with another pickup, I will call it 12 yards.
You know, Steve, it's not often that you can take a look at a game and just say to yourself, you know, they could give the ball to Baker every single play and still not have to worry about anything. And that's the situation we're looking at here, because anytime Baker touches the ball, it doesn't look like Palmyra, even when they're concentrating on trying to stop Baker, it doesn't look like they're able to do anything to really close down that offensive line of Middletown.
6 carries, 69 yards for Baker. Split backfield, wing and split to the near side on 1st and 10 from the Palmyra 45-yard line. Dukes goes in motion to the far side. Handoff will go to Coleman to the near side. Cuts back in the middle, breaks a few tackles, gets across the 40-yard line down to the 36.
You know, and when you want to shut down Baker, you got to get that penetration up the middle. And to get that penetration up the middle, you've got to give up the outside. And that's when Gary Coleman can really be so effective, because he has the outside game. You've got the inside game with Baker. Just the mix of the running game from Middletown makes them so dangerous against a team that doesn't have quickness on defense, and Palmyra just doesn't seem to have the quickness to keep up with Middletown in this situation. They're a very game bunch, this Palmyra team, but it just doesn't look like they have the numbers out there on the field that are able to keep up with this Middletown team at this time.
2nd and 4 from the 39. Blasi will go back to pass, running to the far side. Flag thrown. Fires a pass downfield, and it's picked off by Palmyra. A nice grab.
That's a great
Palmyra defender.
Great interception from Brian Shelton. He put the one hand up, tipped it back to himself, and made sure he tipped it down to himself. There's 2 flags on the play. I think they're both going to be against Middletown in this situation. We've got a hole probably behind the play, and also down, it may be a late hit against Gary Coleman of Middletown, or something on the interception on that play. As Shelton went down with the interception, it looked like Coleman went over just a little bit late on the play to make sure he was down. And Palmyra are going to get their option here, and if the late hit is the case on the second one, it is a hold against Middletown. That is declined, and a dead ball foul will give Palmyra 15 yards on the play. Personal foul. And I'm not sure who it's going against, actually. I thought they signaled against Palmyra. It may have been somebody coming in late for Palmyra, actually, on that play. Okay, it is the initial indication by the officials was that it was against Palmyra. Instead, it is against Middletown for the late hit, and that's going to chalk off 15 yards. And a great play from Shelton, as again, Blasi just a little bit off tonight at the quarterback position. He's been releasing the ball a little bit too early, and when you release the ball a little too early, the ball sails on you just a little bit, and that's what's been happening to Blasi. He's been overthrowing his receivers, and on that play, it was Shelton playing pretty much center field, sticking the hand up, great interception.
Power eye backfield for Palmyra on 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Kohler, tries to go to the far side, gets through a few people on the far side, and has to pick up about 10 yards as he's slipped a few Middletown defenders towards the far side.
And this is something that Middletown really has to guard against. It's a team, this Palmyra team is not going to quit on them. They've got a couple good players who can really hurt them if they get in the open, like Kohler. And Middletown, any sort of letdown, it's easy to let down when you're up 20-0 and moving the ball as well as Middletown has been in this ball game and playing just as well as Middletown has in this game. They've got to stay focused the rest of the way here and really keep their heads in the game, or this Palmyra team is scrappy enough to come back.
Stauffer on 1st and 10 will fire across the middle. Looked like he was looking for... Looks like it was Shelton, perhaps.
That's Shelton from his flanker position on the left side. Just that little quick slant pattern where the receiver goes down about 5 yards straight downfield and then slants to the inside, and the ball just led just slightly ahead of Shelton too much and couldn't pull it in. Brings up 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. Splits to both sides. Kuhn is a sole back in the backfield pass to the 50 is complete by Stauffer. And it looks like he hit Shelton. And he made it good this time for about 14 yards.
Good play call from Palmyra. That time they saw that the slant pattern on the last play was open. They go right back to it in front of Mark Sevenak of Middletown and pick up another first down as Stauffer hits his man for 14 yards.
So to bring up a 1st and 10 from the Middletown 46-yard line. 4:04 left to play in the second quarter. It's 20-0 in favor of Middletown. Stauffer drops back to pass on 1st and 10, complete to the far side. And it looks like it's going to be a pickup of about 10 yards. It'll be real close to another first down. And it looks like it's Kuhn, Chad Kuhn.
Chad Kuhn coming out of the backfield that time, and it was the job of Eric Simonetti getting the start on defense at the weak side backer position tonight for Middletown. He was the one who had to follow the back across the field. That's just a tough play for a linebacker a lot of times to keep up with the back out of the backfield because the back knows exactly where he's going on the play, and the linebacker really not used to doing pass coverage as much as your secondary players. And that time, a good job by Stauffer, again finding his man and setting up another first down.
We'll call the ball on the Middletown 33-yard line. Power I backfield wing and split near side. Stauffer goes back to pass again. Little pass out to his back in the backfield. Looks like it's Kuhn, and he's close to another first down after breaking a few tackles around the line of scrimmage.
And a problem for Middletown really coming up. And it's a problem that Middletown has had early in the season in games that they have lost. And Dennis Etsy doesn't like it at all. He notices that his players are just not tackling out there. A great play by Kohler, squirting forward again, very close to another first down. They're going to measure, and he is going to be just short. And Middletown wants a timeout. We're going to take one as well. 3:20 left to go here in the first half. Our score, Middletown 20, Palmyra nothing, but Palmyra on the move here on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Daly's Golf of Middletown caters to the avid Blue Raider sports fan. Daly's Golf has minor engine repair, oil changes, new tire installation. In fact, they do just about everything automotive. Joe Daly or any one of the fine mechanics at Daly's Golf will help you with your automotive needs. Daly's is open Monday through Friday, beginning with early bird service at 5:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. or Saturday from 7 till 5. Daly's Golf at the corner of Main and Spruce Streets in Middletown.
Welcome back to Middletown Memorial Field. Steve Leedy along with Brian Kaiser. And, well, my eyes are starting to get sore here looking at these Palmyra uniforms with white background and orange numbers.
And very light orange. It's like that,
man.
It's like the orange that you have, and that fluorescent orange that they have on the hunters so they don't shoot each other. And right now, Palmyra has that on the back of their jersey that sort of blurs together. Some black outline would be kind of nice, but they don't have that, so we're going to have to pick and choose and try to figure out exactly who's getting the ball each time. Palmyra doing a great job this time of mixing it up a little bit, and mixing it up, what I mean is mixing their pass patterns up very well, because they have had success this drive throwing the football. They have moved the ball well, almost just ignoring the running game, and they've thrown the football well. Stauffer, a very poised quarterback in there, and he has done a very nice job mixing it up to his different receivers.
Third and a chain link, and Kuhn gets to give in the backfield, and he's going to have a first down to the far side. He'll pick up more than enough is it looks like he got about 5 yards on the carry.
You know, and that's the passing game can set up your running game. So often you hear the good running game sets up the passing game because teams have to guard against the run. But in this situation, a good passing game can set up the running game. Palmyra, nothing on the running game when they weren't passing the ball early in the game. Now they've gone to the pass and have been able to run the ball well.
Palmyra 5 first downs in its last 6 plays. Down on 1st and 10. Will fire a pass completed down around the 5-yard line. And it looks like it's either Kohler or Shelton. I think it's Shelton. That's who it is.
And Shelton on that play, just one of those little down and look back kind of thing, a little button hook where he goes down about 12, 14 yards and turns around quickly. So the defensive back, in this case Mark Sevenak, not able to cover him right away. And not bad coverage from Sevenak, but just couldn't get there in time.
First and goal from about the 6. Handoff goes near side. Pickup of about 2 or 3 yards by Kuhn. It's down to the 3-yard line.
And Palmyra, what a big boost of confidence this would give this young team, this team that not a lot of players out, not a lot of numbers in Middletown. Going to get a chance from Dennis Etzi sprinting back on the field because Palmyra wants a timeout in this situation to make sure that they get the right plays sent in.
Now with timeout on the field, we'll take one as well. 2:22 left to play in the second quarter. It's Middletown 20. Palmyra nothing but the Cougars on the move. You're listening to the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Rhodes Pharmacy in Middletown is under new management to make their business even better for you. Rhodes Pharmacy's new price philosophy is simple. They'll match any prescription price from any pharmacy. And Rhodes is a participating pharmacy for all insurance carriers and HMOs. They even have delivery service and 24-hour emergency service. Remember, you don't have to leave town to get discount prices and quality service. It's all at Rhodes Pharmacy. Open 7 days a week in Hummelstown. In Middletown, Rhodes is open 9 to 8 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday.
Second and goal from the 3-yard line for Palmyra. Dalbraz twins near side. Handoff goes to the backfield to Kuhn, and it looks like he's going to be in for the touchdown. Chad Kuhn on a 3-yard run gives Palmyra its first points of the game.
And great guts from Kuhn on that play. He got hit right at the line of scrimmage, bounced off his man, and kept going to the outside, scored it off his tackle, and went into the end zone, fought his way in for a Palmyra touchdown. The first point scored against Middletown in divisional play, and just great job by Matt Stauffer on that drive of Palmyra, throwing the ball and setting that one up going down the field.
And it looks like Palmyra is going to go for the extra point here. Snap, hold, kick is up, and kick is good by Ryan Schmidt, the kicker for the Palmyra Cougars. And that gives us a break in the action. We'll take timeout with 2:17 left to play in the second quarter. It's Middletown 20, Palmyra 7. You're listening to the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Are you concerned about the future financial security of your family or business? When was the last time you had your life and disability insurance reviewed and your investment and retirement program analyzed? For answers to these important questions, call a professional, Tim Knoll, COU. He is a local chartered financial consultant with more than 28 years experience. Call Tim at 939-0968 for a free consultation. That's 939-0968.
Welcome back, Middletown Memorial Field. And Palmyra set to kick off as Middletown has a 20-7 lead. 2:17 left to play in the first half.
And quickly on that drive, Palmyra, 9 plays, 69 yards. They had 5 first downs on that drive, took only 2:52, and it culminated in a 3-yard touchdown run from Chad Kuhn. Extra point by Schmidt was good, making it 20-7 in favor of Middletown.
And the kickoff just happened, but it's going to be called back for something. Not sure what it is being called back for.
The officials,
no penalty
the
flag.
officials never gave the go-ahead to the kicker to start things up because we were still in a no, it wasn't our fault, but on the play, the officials have to blow their whistle to set things up in motion. And Palmyra set everything up and kicked the ball off, and the officials were like, wait a second, we're not ready yet. And because of that, they have to start things all over again. It wasn't a bad kick, and he's going to get to kick it again.
So Palkovic will try one more time for Palmyra here with 2:17 left to play in the half. Coleman back deep for Middletown, as well as Dukes and Treader. They're hanging around about the 25-yard line. Coleman's back at about the 17 in the middle. Now we're going to have further delays.
Oh, Dennis Etsy jumping on the officials on the side. He comes up with 5 yards on that play because Palmyra not exactly sure what the call would be in that situation.
Delay of game.
Delay of game. Because they kicked the ball off without the official giving them the go-ahead, it's a delay of game penalty. So in that situation, 5 yards back, and Dennis Essie exactly right, and jumping on the officials saying, look, let's move them back.
So Palkovic gets this one off. Dukes takes it around the 23-yard line, now cuts back to the near side, and a great tackle, and the ball squirts loose, picked up by Palmyra. It looks like it's going to be a touchdown by Shelton. No penalty flags on the field. And Dukes got stripped to the ball, and Brian Shelton takes it back in for the touchdown.
I didn't think it was Shelton. I thought it was Dan Kreider on the touchdown. We'll have to get confirmation of that from our official scorers, but the strip made on that play for Palmyra, and just a tremendous open field tackle. I think it was Brandon Kane just streaking down the field. He was the only man who could have grabbed Dukes, just sort of hog-tied him, grabbed him, and threw him down with such force that the ball just ripped right out of there. Dukes didn't have a prayer on that one, and because of it, Palmyra right back in this ball game. And I mean, turnovers can kill you in a situation. And we're going to find out right now exactly who scored that touchdown.
Now we're going to work on that. We have timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. 2:07 up to play in the first half. It's 20-13 Middletown over Palmyra here on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Now you can catch the excitement of Blue Raider football on videotape. The Blue Raiders Sports Network and the Middletown Athletic Department presents Middletown football on VHS. All the games, home or away, recorded on videotape with the actual WMSS broadcast. Save all the exciting moments of Middletown football for years to come. Each tape costs just $10 and proceeds benefits WMSS Student Radio and Middletown Athletics. You'll never miss a game again. Tapes available at all Middletown home games or by calling the Middletown Recreation and Athletic Office. Get your Middletown football game tape today.
Welcome back, Middletown Memorial Field. Palmyra is set up to go for two. Stauffer will hand the ball off in the backfield and will be stopped short. Looks like it's Kohler or Kuhn. Looks like it's Kohler.
I just don't understand it. It was, they're going to give the touch to Brian Shelton. I've been overruled with a 22-yard fumble return, but I just don't understand the mindset there of going for 2 points. You're down by 7 points before the extra point. Your kicker just booted it right through the middle of the uprights, and you're going to go for 2 points to make it a 5-point game instead of a 6-point game if you convert the extra point. It just doesn't make sense to me, folks. In that situation, you've got to take the extra point. You're down by 6. You hope your defense can come through, just like it has a couple times in this game, because the passing game not working for Middletown. But in that situation, you've got to kick the extra point. The 2-point conversion does nothing for you.
So now Palmyra scores again. They'll need a 2-point conversion to take the lead.
Or an extra point to tie the game.
Or an extra point to tie the game, but...
And then they went with the one thing that they haven't been doing well at all, and that's running the ball right up the middle. I just don't like the call at all in that situation from the Palmyra coaching staff.
So for the second time in 10 seconds, Palkovic Sends another kickoff down, taken by Coleman, this time from the 15. Coleman up to the 20, 25, tries to make a cut, slips on the turf, and he's going to be down about the 32-yard line of Middletown.
And if Coleman doesn't slip there, he's got at least another 10 yards on that one because he had a big hole coming up back to the inside. Middletown had the seal blocking to the inside very well, and he wasn't going to reach another white shirt for another 5-6 yards.
The Middletown offense takes the field with 1:55 and counting left to play here in the second quarter. Middletown from the own 33-yard line. Blasey, the quarterback, has splits to both sides in a split backfield. Handoff goes to Coleman, sweeping around near side, cuts across the 35, breaks a few tackles, still on his feet, across the 40, the 45, 50, 40, and down to the 38-yard line of Palmyra as we got flags on the field.
Hankies are on the field at the 50-yard line, and, you know, on the running play like that, where a running back breaks a couple of tackles on the play, so many times you have that illegal block, and that's exactly what happened there. A clip against the Raiders. They'll move this one all the way back just a little bit. Just a great run from Coleman on the outside. He scored it through a couple tackles. I mean, when you watch Gary Coleman and how he squirts in and out of tackles from time to time, it just looks like he's got some sort of Vaseline or something on his uniform, because just guys cannot seem to keep their arms wrapped around him. He's just so elusive in the open field, and that time broke about 4 or 5 tackles and got to the outside. Big game, but it all comes back 15 yards from midfield because of the clip.
Baker's the lone setback. Coleman wing to the far side. Handoff's going to go to Baker through the the left side of the line and picks up a good chunk of ground as he gets out to the 45-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 12. Make it 11 for J.J. Baker.
You know, and J.J. Baker, he's the kind of runner, it's not too many backs that can make a dive play exciting, but you can just tell from the crowd's reaction that anytime he touches the ball and gets some momentum going, anytime he gets brought down, there's this collective, oh, because every time it looks like he's going to break it.
First and 10 from the 45. Handoff goes to Coleman, sweeping around near side. It's going to be stopped after a pickup of about 3 yards. And looks like he did not get out of bounds, so the clock will run with 1:04, 1:03 left to go in the second quarter. Second and 6 play for Middletown coming up.
And Dan Kreider, Brandon Kane in on the tackle there for Palmyra. A good job of penetration. Middletown in the hurry up in the shotgun.
Blasey in the shotgun will look to throw the ball. Little bit of pressure, throws it, and incomplete. Not in the vicinity of any Middletown player. Flags on the field.
That's illegal use of hands against Middletown on that blocking. Just how Blasey's been throwing the ball tonight, and how Middletown has just too many mental mistakes in this first half. We've seen a couple holding calls, a few illegal block calls. This Middletown team, after they jumped out to the 20-0 lead, just seems like they've lost their focus. They look like they are not mentally in this game after they jumped out to an easy lead. This is a team they're not supposed to have any problems with, and it's looking like they're not supposed to have any problems with it, just how their mental aspect of the game is right now. They're not thinking, and that's shown in the useless penalties. I mean, the clip on the last play was far away from the play. Coleman had clear sailing to the outside, and the clip was unnecessary. This one, Blasey, he didn't need the holding call, and an offensive lineman just sticks up there and grabs somebody.
Second and 17 from the Middletown 37-yard line. Split backfield, wing far side. Handoff goes to Baker through the middle. Across the 40, across the 45, and that's where he's tied up. And he will not get out of bounds. And Middletown, I believe, is going to call a timeout. Yes, they do.
And we're going to keep it right here as Middletown 20-13 is our score right now in favor of the Blue Raiders. But, you know, a lot of people, and this would include myself, did not expect this game to be close at halftime, and it didn't look like it was going to be. Middletown jumped out to a 20-0 lead early in the first quarter, but it's been a scrappy Palmyra team going to the air. Matt Stauffer using the passing game very well against Middletown and bringing them back. A touchdown for them, followed by a fumble return for a touchdown for Palmyra. On the ensuing kickoff, a fumble by Jesse Deuce, where he just got thrown in midair by it was Brandon Kane causing the fumble, and that has really given a lot of life to this Palmyra team. And, you know, I'm surprised that Dennis Etsy with the mental state that his team appears to be in right now, the fact that they do not appear to be mentally in this game right now, I'm surprised that he's not just trying to get this team into the locker room to regain their focus. They're going to try on 3rd down and long to pick something up here, but this also gives Palmyra a chance, if they come up with a defensive stop, to maybe get the ball back and keep that momentum going into the locker room.
I think they'll keep it on the ground with split backs, split ends to both sides. Blasey will hand it off to Coleman. Coleman cuts around near side across midfield, gets out of bounds, and looks like Middletown's going to be faced with about a 4th and 4 with 31 seconds left in the half.
And the clock was stopped because of the fact that Coleman went out of bounds on that play, and they're going to be interesting to see what Middletown does. They're going to go with the punt here, and the Middletown special teams have not done a good job, especially on kickoffs tonight, of covering. And this gives Palmyra an excellent opportunity. They've already had a blocked extra point in this game, and now with Baker back to punt, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to try here.
I wouldn't mind seeing a fake at this point from midfield on 4th and 4. Baker back to punt, and he gets the ball, and he'll put a nice boot to the far side. Dropped by the deep man. I believe it was Kuhn who dropped it, but Kohler picked it up. And Palmyra will have possession on their own 13-yard line. And I would think that Fred Poorman, coach of Palmyra, will just sit on the ball here.
I wouldn't be surprised about that either. He really doesn't have a lot of room back there. They're just going to let the clock run out, most likely, being so far away, and not risk a turnover to give Middletown a chance in this situation. But I'm really surprised that Palmyra didn't send a lot more pressure. They only had 5 guys up on the wall on that time trying to block the punt. Only 5 guys against 8 players from Middletown blocking, and you're just not going to block a punt in that situation. They were looking for a return and just didn't get it.
Well, that brings us at halftime, and boy, what a difference 10 seconds makes in this game. Palmyra scored touchdowns with 2:17 and 2:07 left to play in the second quarter, and they've turned this into a ball game. We're going to take a break. When we come back to halftime show. Our score, Middletown 20, Palmyra 13. You're listening to the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
In the first half of this football game, Middletown was up at 1 point, 20-0. And all of a sudden, Palmyra made the comeback. 2 touchdowns in the span of 10 seconds. The second on a fumble return, on a kickoff, on a beautiful hit from Brandon Kane. And because of that, our score at halftime, 20-13, Middletown leading Palmyra. And we are about ready to start the third quarter of action here from Memorial Field. And John, a couple of insights from you on that.
Well, you know, Palmyra is always in a game against Middletown. Even though the last 5 of the last 6 meetings, I believe it was, they've only scored 7 points. But, you know, back in '86 when Middletown won the district championship, that year Palmyra had a bad year, but only lost 8-7 to Middletown.
So the kick is underway. Coleman receives it at his 12. Has it at the 25, spins to the outside, breaks a tackle to 25, now cuts to the outside and will be dragged down. Now almost loses the football, but a good job of holding on at the 32-yard line. And Middletown will start things there.
Well, one of the things we found out from our sideline reporters that in the first half of play, Coleman wasn't following the blockers that Denisetsy wanted him to. And many times he wasn't going outside like Denisetsy wanted him to. So there was some communication from the sideline to Gary Coleman there in the first half on some things. Right there on the return, you know, he was following his blockers for a while and then decided to take on everyone himself. He's got to follow those blockers, make the cut inside when he can. Other times, take it to the outside, use that speed.
We've got a player down for Palmyra on the field. I'm not sure exactly who it is. I believe it is Brian Shelton who is down on the field for Palmyra. We will get confirmation shortly, but right now we're going to take a break. We'll talk more about this after the injury. 11:49 left to go, just underway here in the third quarter. Our score, Middletown 20, Palmyra 13. Back with more on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Daly's Golf of Middletown caters to the avid Blue Raider sports fan. Daly's Golf has minor engine repair, oil changes, new tire installation. In fact, they do just about everything automotive. Joe Daly or any one of the fine mechanics at Daly's Golf will help you with your automotive needs. Daly's is open Monday through Friday, beginning with early bird service at 5:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. or Saturday from 7 till 5. Daly's Golf at the corner of Main and Spruce Streets in Middletown.
The moment you walk into Rhodes Pharmacy, you'll notice a difference. You'll see it in the way they act, the way they talk, and the way you're treated. Rhodes Pharmacy is under new management, so whether you need a prescription, a non-prescription item, cards, gifts, or professional advice, the friendly Rhodes staff is anxious to serve your needs. Rhodes Hummelstown store is open 7 days a week. In Middletown, Rhodes Pharmacy is open 9 to 8 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday.
Welcome back to Memorial Field in Middletown. Brian Kaiser with John Wilsbach. Just underway here in the third quarter. Middletown leading 20-13 over Palmyra. Chris Blasi brings his team up to the line. First and 10 from their own 32. Give is up the middle to Baker off the right side. He's bowling ahead, and he's got a head of steam going, pushing blockers along for 8 yards up to the 40-yard line. Brings up a 2nd and 2 for Middletown.
Well, again, Middletown's offensive line dominating off the snap. And you look at that scoreboard of 20-13, and somebody just walking in and, wow, what a game this has been. Man, these two teams must be battling real close, but actually it has been all Middletown in this game with the exception of one series by Palmyra and one mistake by the Blue Raiders.
We have confirmation down on the sideline that Brian Shelton of Palmyra, who was injured on the previous play, had the wind knocked out of him. He ran off under his own power, and he should be back in no time. 2nd and 2, Blasi gives to Coleman. He runs to the outside, tripped up after a gain of 4 yards, and J.J. Baker holding his ankle. He is down on the field in obvious pain. He came off of his block. He was blocking for Coleman on the outside, and it looked to me like something he just twisted down, and hopefully it's not as bad as it may appear right now. He's in obvious pain, and right now,
he was laying on his left side. Both legs were cocked back. The left one even more so, and I believe that was the one he was really holding on to at first. And trainer Pete Fox and Doc Fisher are both out there tending to him immediately. J.J. Baker, the starting fullback for the Middletown Blue Raiders, and the Raiders have two different options to go in the event they need another fullback. They can go with one, the senior, Corey Reed, who has been filling in a lot for J.J. Baker in the latter part of the last few games. And you also have Ed Fox, who has moved back to that tackle position. He was actually going into the season as the backup fullback, but they would obviously have to change jerseys there. I believe that Corey Reed would be the next choice at fullback for the Middletown Blue Raiders, as he has checked into the huddle for Middletown.
And the other problem for Middletown, Baker has really gained a lot of headlines lately as a running back, but this guy on defense is a terror from his linebacker position. This is a huge loss depending on the severity of the injury. We're going to find out from our Matt Demme exactly what's wrong with J.J. Baker. They're helping him up, and he's walking off under his own power, which is a very good sign. A little ginger on the left leg, but walking off without any assistance. We'll have to find out exactly the severity of the injury and whether or not J.J. Baker will be back from our sideline reporter, Matt Demme.
Well, just the fact that he's walking off the field under his own power appears to be real good news.
Scary-looking injury at first for Middletown may turn out not to be that bad. Blasi, 1st and 10 for Middletown at their own 45-yard line. Give is to Coleman, sweeping to the right side, cuts back to the inside, now darts inside across midfield to the 48-yard line of Palmyra. Gain of 7, brings up a 2nd and 3 for Middletown.
Well, the trainers aren't saying much more to J.J. Baker. Did a couple sprints along the sideline here, back and forth, lifting the legs up, moving the ankle around.
And that's just to check out to make sure that he has full mobility and flexibility in that knee in the event that they put him back in very soon. Back split in the backfield, wing and split to the near side. Blasi calls the signal 2nd and 3. Give again to Coleman, sweeping to the left side this time. Jukes at the 45-yard line, push back to the 46-yard line, and that's where he'll be marked down short of the first down by a yard. And right now, we're going to go down on the sideline With a report on J.J. Baker, here is our Matt Demme. Okay, we'll be talking to Matt hopefully after this play and try to get things worked out down there. But it's a 3rd down and 1 for Middletown at the Palmyra 46-yard line. 3 backs split across the backfield. Baker back in the game directly behind Blasey. The give is to Baker. Following Dupes, goes left side and picks up 5 yards for a first down. So obviously the injury report is going to be a good one for Middletown. And to hear more about it, here's Matt Demme.
J.J. Baker twisted his ankle. He got up. He was running up and down the sidelines. He said, back to you.
Thank you very much, Matt Demme. Obviously, the ankle injury for Baker, not too severe. It looked bad at first, but a twist of the ankle. He's back in the game. He's a tough kid, and he picks up the first down for Middletown. 1st and 10 for the Blue Raiders, just short of the Palmyra 41-yard line. Double wing formation, 7 active split to the near side. Baker directly behind Blasey once again. The give is to Baker, going right up the gut. Brought down after a gain of 6. Give him 7 up to the 35-yard line of Palmyra. 2nd down and 3 for Middletown.
And part the Red Sea, the Raiders line really spreading open the middle and allowing J.J. Baker to get that surge up the middle. And, you know, so far in this game when Baker's run it up down the pipe, I mean, he has had some room, and he's also excelled very quickly out of the backfield. I think more these last couple weeks than we've seen all season long.
He just has that burst of speed. 8:05 left to go here in the 3rd. Give again to Baker, going right side. He bulls ahead for 6. Another Blue Raider first down. They're going to mark him down at the 30-yard line of Palmyra, make it a gain of 5 and another first down for the Blue Raiders. 7:55 left to go here in the 3rd quarter, and the Blue Raiders a 7-point lead over Palmyra.
Middletown doing here what they did all first half, establish ball control. Good ball control, take your time, set the formations right, move it down the field.
I think it's obvious because of the performance of Chris Blasey in the first half. Not too sharp in the passing game. Middletown had so much success with the running game. That's what they're going to here. Double tight end formation, back split behind Blasey. The give is to Coleman around the left side, cuts back to the inside, and will be brought down after a gain of 1. Good penetration from Palmyra, sets up a 2nd and 9 for Middletown.
Again, Coleman may be looking to go inside a little bit more than what he wants to be, and, you know, right there is another instant where, you know, he didn't even decide to go off left end or anything. He tried going right down the middle off center.
Well, there was good penetration from the defensive end that time from Palmyra, but Coleman again looking inside all the time for Middletown. He's had so much success there. 2nd down and 9 for Middletown. Give us to Baker, left side, busts ahead for 3 yards. Brought down on the play from Palmyra. That's John Simpson on the tackle. 3rd down for Middletown and 7 yards at the Palmyra 27-yard line. Blasey brings them up to the line. Again, a double tight end formation from Middletown. Make that an unbalanced line. 4 men wide of the center to the right side. Baker and Coleman are offset in the backfield. The give is sweep left. Coleman cuts it inside and brought down a beautiful open field tackle after a gain of 2. A great play from Greg Kohler, bringing Coleman down short of the first down. 4th and 4 for Middletown.
I'll tell you, Greg Kohler has been the one here in the second half prohibiting Coleman from getting upfield on many of the sweeps. He's been pursuing quite well, and he's hitting them low, taking the legs out, and putting them down.
Big play for both teams. 4th and 4 at the Palmyra 24 for Middletown. 5:40 left to go in a 7-point lead for the Raiders. 5:40 left to go in the 3rd quarter, that is, and a timeout for Middletown. They were taking a little too much time, and they want to make sure the play is correct on this 4th down play. We'll take one as well. 5:33 left to go. Middletown leads 20-13 over Palmyra. 3rd quarter of action continues after this on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Are you concerned about the future financial security of your family or business? When was the last time you had your life and disability insurance reviewed and your investment and retirement program analyzed? For answers to these important questions, call a professional. Tim Knoll, COU. He is a local chartered financial consultant with more than 28 years experience. Call Tim at 939-0968 for a free consultation. That's 939-0968.
Welcome back to Middletown's Memorial Field. Brian Kaiser along with John Wilsbach. Middletown leading 20-13 here in the third quarter over Palmyra.
Well, I would think that the Raiders are going to go with a pass play here. You know, the ground game has been working well for them, but I would look for a little pass in the flats or maybe a little flare-out pass to Coleman.
Middletown lining up. Double tight end. Wing is Dupes to the near side. Baker and Coleman offset in the backfield. The give is to Coleman. Counter crisscross to Dupes. Gives it up the middle, cut inside at the 15, at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Jesse Dupes. A beautiful play call for the Blue Raiders.
Could be coming back. We've got a flag thrown around the 20-yard line, and it may be a hold against Middletown. Yes,
that's
it is.
Exactly what it is. Good eyes, John Wilsbach, as Middletown, another one of those costly penalties we saw so much in the first half. In big situations, the Blue Raider offensive line, which has been so dominant, a big penalty on the hold.
Well, a great call on the counter. Crisscross. Deuce made a nice move instead of trying to go outside. Went inside of the player following the block and had a lot of room all the way down into the end zone. But now the Raiders are forced with an even bigger challenge of a 4th and 10.
As the hold comes back from the spot of the foul, if the hold is downfield, and that's the situation here. So Middletown 4th and 10, and you'd have to think in this situation that you're looking past.
Dennis Etsy letting the umpire on the near side know all about it. Not too pleased with that last call.
Sevenak, Dupes, split wide to the right side, backs again, offset in the backfield behind Blasi. 4th and 10 from the Palmyra 30-yard line for the Blue Raiders. Blasi rolls to the right, has pressure, fires, incomplete, just wide of the outstretched hands of the diving Jesse Dupes.
Now, we got a flag on a late hit against Blasi back around the 40-yard line.
And that's going to be a big play there for Middletown, because if that's indeed what it is, and that's usually what would happen in that situation, that's a 15-yard penalty, and that's going to give Middletown a first down.
Well, they lose one on the touchdown carry by Dupes. This time they get one back on the penalty as Chris Blasi, under the pressure, had about 2 men in front of him. I'm not sure which one made the hit. Got rid of the football and still had a few feet in between he and the defender, and the man decided to still take him down, and it's going to be costly. And I'll tell you, that could be the costliest penalty of the game for Palmyra, because if Middletown continues on this drive and scores, you know, that was Palmyra's chance to either really get back in this game and tie it up, or allow Middletown to take a 2-touchdown lead. We'll see what happens.
That was a chance to keep the momentum going from the first half, but with 5:20 left to go, Palmyra has not touched the ball yet in the second half, and Middletown has a first down at their 15-yard line. Give us to Baker off the left side. Bulls ahead for 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up for Middletown at the Palmyra 10-yard line. And Baker continues to run free up the middle.
We've got a programming note, I should say an athletic note, to pass along, that the Middletown junior varsity game will not be against Palmyra this week. Since Palmyra only has 30 players out for the season, Middletown will play at home Monday night against West Perry at 7 o'clock.
4:47 left to go and counting in the third quarter. 2nd and 5 for Middletown on the Palmyra 10-yard line. Blue Raiders lead by 7. Give again off to Baker. He stumbles in the backfield, falls ahead forward for 3 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and call it a long 2 for the Blue Raiders from the Palmyra 7.
And actually, I think it was Steve Rare who went from his right to left side and kind of cut in front of J.J. Baker, and Baker tripped over his ankle. Still able to pick up a couple.
3rd down and pretty short for Middletown in this situation.
Officials timeout on the field right now. Not sure if there was an equipment problem with a Middletown player or not. Good result.
And with 4:18 and counting left to go here in the third quarter, Middletown a chance once again at the 7-yard line of Palmyra. 3rd down and 2 upcoming as the Blue Raiders come to the line. Off. They have a double tight end formation into the ball game. Wing to the left side. Baker and Coleman offset in the backfield. 3rd and 2 for the Blue Raiders at the Palmyra 7. Blasey, long snap count, gives to Coleman, sweeping left, cuts back inside, brought down, but not before Coleman gets enough for a first down at the Palmyra 3-yard line. Gain of 4 for Gary Coleman.
You kind of thought short yardage they were going to go to Baker because he has 18 carries and 123 yards, but they give to Coleman, who has been running a lot on the inside tonight, and he picks up the first down.
So another opportunity for Middletown, and again, Palmyra has not touched the ball, and we are almost 8.5 minutes into this third quarter.
Coleman, 15 carries, 86 yards here in the game.
Coleman switches over to the right side of the formation. Double tight end formation. Give is to Baker. He follows Coleman on the right side. Working, and dives into the end zone for a Middletown touchdown. Give a lot of credit to J.J. Baker. A 3-yard touchdown run, all on second effort, and the Blue Raiders lead 26-13.
Well, a couple of the players out there holding their arms up in the air. Let's go for two. Dennis Etsy playing it safe, playing it smart, sends in the kicking unit for the extra point kick.
Let's call that one we'll say 8 minutes and 44-second drive on that play on that series for Middletown. 26-13, and the extra point ensuing from Blasey. Blasey to attempt the extra point. Legor puts it down. Blasey kicks it up, and it bangs off the left upright. No good.
Well, the special teams have been playing quite well lately, with the kicking game having its problem tonight. Raiders, though, running a lot of time off that clock. 15 plays, 71 yards, capped off by the touchdown carry by J.J. Baker, and 2 missed extra points tonight.
Three, actually. They missed a conversion as well, 2-point conversion, and then Baker converted on a 2-point conversion on the third touchdown. But first, a blocked extra point for Blasey tonight. This time he twinks it off the left upright. But Middletown still with a 2-score lead, 26-13 over Palmyra. And with 3:16 left to go in this third quarter, the Palmyra offense is probably thinking, when are we going to touch the ball?
Well, they're going to get their chance now, and I'm sure that the Middletown defense has been well rested. Certainly a lot of the guys play on the offense as well, but there are some who play strictly one way, and now they're going to get their chance to do some hitting and do some knocking in. I actually don't think Palmyra's going to do much on this drive. I see the momentum, again, shifting back to Middletown, and I think they're going to take advantage of it.
And that big late hit penalty on 4th down and 10 for Middletown that gave them a first down at the Palmyra 15, maybe the biggest play of this ball game.
Costly. I thought it was at the time, and since the Raiders scored, it definitely very well could be that play which, buries Palmyra.
Blasey to kick it away at the 40-yard line. A little wobbly kick, and the return man slipped down. One of the upbacks for Palmyra received the ball at the 34 and tried to plant his back foot and slipped down. Not sure who that player was on the opposite side.
It's tough on the numbers, but it was Brian M. Smith who caught that for Palmyra and then slipped down. Chris Blasey again having problems on the kickoff. That one very short end over end.
So we'll see if Palmyra is able to answer the Middletown score as they start things off. Coming up with backs offset to the left side. The give on the end around. With the ball is Shelton, and he is brought down for a loss in the backfield. He's pushed back. Jan Michael Lawrence in on the play along with Mike Dupes.
Jan Michael Lawrence playing near side defensive back. Saw that developing as sweeping to the near side. Shelton got the pitch deep. Flag was thrown, and Lawrence knew that he could commit. He didn't have any receiver to cover on the near side. Just went straight on in, met him head to head, and took him down for a loss.
And there's a penalty on the play against Palmyra. And a loss of 4 on the play, and Middletown has a decision here to make.
It's going to be a clip. Take them back a little bit further.
It would be a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul on the clip, or take the 5-yard loss on the play and set up a 2nd and 15, and Middletown will decline it.
Yeah.
Take the result of the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd down, and we'll call it 15 from the Palmyra 29-yard line for the Cougars. 1 one other thing about an important thing to remember in this ball game on the Palmyra side, the fact that they have only 30 players in Middletown able to play players both ways, spot resting people. We'll see what happens in the fourth quarter with fatigue. Stauffer running the option of the outside. Pitch is to Kreider, and he spins forward for a couple yards.
He spun forward because the first guy that hit him was Randy Hefner, and Hefner just put the old head down and smacked him head to head, and boy, that shook the willies out, spun his body around a couple times. Hefner went flying into the sideline, but the momentum was enough to help out with the tackle.
It'll bring up a 3rd down and 12 now from the 32-yard line of the Cougars. They set up the wishbone offense in the backfield. 3 backs behind Stauffer, split to the near side. The pitch is to Kohler. He's sweeping left side, has him crease, and dragged down by Treader. But he looks like he might have enough for the first down. And where the spot is right now, it appears like he does. First down, Palmyra, gain of 12 on the play exactly for Kohler. And a big call there for Palmyra.
Oh, we knew coming into the game that Kohler, 5'8", 155 pounds, he doesn't have much meat on him, but he's got some speed, and he's a senior, well seasoned in the game. And, you know, when Palmyra doesn't have that many players on the team, 30 to be exact, a guy like that's going to get a lot of playing time over his underclassmen years, and you can see it paying off for the team right now.
Wishbone again, the give to the right side, and spun down for a gain of nothing on the play is Kohler. 2nd down and 10 for Palmyra, coming up on their own 44-yard line.
Corey Reed in on the tackle there for Middletown.
A minute 25 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 26-13, Middletown leading Palmyra. Cougars with the ball and a 2nd and 10. This Cougar team likes to run the wishbone type offense, but this time they send trips to the far side. Single set back is Kuhn behind the quarterback Stauffer. Back to Pasco Stauffer. Throwing long. He's got a man, and it is complete. Complete on the far side to the 24-yard line of Middletown. And his receiver was that guy again, Brian Shelton.
Shelton got some speed, got about a yard or so on Sevenak, and then kind of moved to his left a couple extra yards, turned Sevenak around the wrong way, and he was wide open for an easy catch. He worked hard for it, though, and picks up a big first down.
32-yard pass play for Palmyra from Stauffer to Shelton, and a first down for the Cougars in Middletown territory. Backs offset just a bit, almost an I formation for Palmyra, split to the far side, wing to the far side. Back to pass again goes Stauffer. Looking for his man out of the backfield, now will run, tucks it under, and is brought down at the 20-yard line, pushed back, but forward progress will get him to around the 20-yard line. Gain of a few, give him 4. 2nd down and 6 for the Cougars.
Now the Cougars are making things happen again on this drive. We saw it late in the 2nd quarter. Had a very consistent drive. They didn't use many plays. I think they had 5 first down and a total of 8 or 9 plays. And they moved the football down. Here they had their backs against the wall on one of them. Came up with a couple nice runs and big pass play. And look, they're deep in Middletown territory. The Raider defense has got to pull together right here.
3 backs in the backfield. Shelton to the near side for Palmyra's 2nd and 6 for the Cougars. Back to Pasco Stauffer. Looking for his tight end, incomplete, overthrew him a little bit, and a late hit going to be called against Middletown. Craig Rao getting in on the quarterback Stauffer late on that play. Personal foul Middletown, and that's going to move the ball forward half the distance to the goal line.
Oh, Blasey was on the receiving end of one of those the first time. This time is quarterback Matt Stauffer getting smacked down late. And it's going to be costly to the Blue Raiders with just 8 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Palmyra by far not out of this game yet.
And you've got to give it to the scrappy Cougars team, as they have come up big in this game when they have needed to. It looked like Middletown able to move the ball at will, and they still are able to move the ball at will pretty much on the ground. But Palmyra continues to stay in this football game with a lot of scrappiness. 8 seconds left. Penalty moves the ball up to the Middletown 10-yard line. 8 seconds. The clock is stopped because of the penalty. And Palmyra comes up with a first down and goal. Stauffer brings them up. 3 backs in the backfield in the wishbone. The give is to the last man through, and that is Greg Kohler. He is brought down for a gain of only 1, and that'll be the last play of the third quarter. Folks, surprise. Palmyra's in this one as we go to the fourth quarter. They're driving. Middletown leads at 26-13. Back with the fourth quarter of action. John Wilsbach with the call here on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Now you can catch the excitement of Blue Raider football on videotape. The Blue Raiders Sports Network and the Middletown Athletic Department presents Middletown football on VHS. All the games, home or away, recorded on videotape with the actual WMSS broadcast. Save all the exciting moments of Middletown football for years to come. Each tape costs just $10 and proceeds benefits WMSS Student Radio and Middletown Athletics. You'll never miss a game again. Tapes available at all Middletown home games or by calling the Middletown Recreation and Athletic Office. Get your Middletown football game tape today.
Well, the Middletown Blue Raider defense has its hands full now. They're clinging to a 13-point lead. Middletown 26, Palmyra 13 as we get set for the start of the fourth quarter, and a second and goal for the Palmyra Cougars at the 9-yard line of Middletown.
You've got to give this Palmyra team a lot of credit in this game. There's been several times when any lesser team could have just rolled over and died. This Palmyra team has been scrappy the entire way, and even when they're down by 3 scores, they come back. Middletown scores on a 9-minute drive, and Palmyra comes right back, and they're at the 9-yard line of Middletown.
Kuhn is the lone sit-back. Back to pass. Stauffer looks left. Slant and caught down at the 2-yard line. It will bring up a third and goal to go for the Palmyra Cougars. And on the receiving end, why am I not surprised, it's Shelton.
Brian Shelton, he's had a big part in this ball game. A guy that Stauffer likes to look to, and again, they're victimizing Mark Sevenak on the near side with that slant-in pattern where the receiver runs down about 5 yards and it cuts to the inside, and Sevenak a little late getting over there. Made a nice stop short of the goal line, though.
Wishbone on a third and goal from the 2, down near the goal line, and in for the touchdown is Greg Kohler. It is now 26-19. Middletown's lead is dwindling.
And it should be interesting to see exactly what Palmyra does here. The last time they had this sort of a situation, they went for 2 for some reason. This time they have a chance with the extra point to cut the lead to 6. And I would expect that they'd want to kick it here.
And they will kick it. You can see that Ryan Schmidt has changed the foot gear. He will boot it with his right foot.
And this is where the extra point woes of Middletown come into play. If they're successful here, it's a 6-point ball game.
Palmyra for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is shanked to the left. It is a 26-19 game, still in favor of Middletown, but Palmyra hanging tough with 11:20 to play here in the fourth quarter.
And on that touchdown run, Kohler was stopped short of the goal line, just inches short of the goal line, and had the presence of mind to keep motoring forward. He's not a big back, but just like this entire Palmyra team has shown, he has a lot of guts in there. The second effort got him into the end zone and pulls Palmyra within 7. The missed extra point, costly, because now, if Palmyra can score another touchdown, the question comes up for the Cougars. Do we go for the win, or do we go for the tie? And in this situation, with the extra point woes of both teams, you'd have to think that they'd have to try for 2, because the extra point is no short thing in this ball game. The grass on the field is getting wet. We're seeing a lot more players slip down there. That word from Matt Demme, our sideline reporter. The last drive for Palmyra, 3 minutes, 56 seconds, 9 plays, 67 yards, ending in the 2-yard run from Kohler.
Kickoff, and Coleman will take it at his 15, up to the 20, to the 25, 30. He's got some blocking. He's up to the 35, dragged down from behind to the 42. Gary Coleman, all the way from the 15 to the 42. and that's where the Raiders will set up shop. Middletown 26, Palmyra 19. Early here in the fourth quarter, we remind our fine sports fans out there at some of the other high school games around the area, if you've got a score to report to us, you can call us on the scoreboard phone at 948-3412. First and 10 for Middletown. Single setback is J.J. Baker. He'll get the give up the middle. Gets out to the 45, flags thrown. And I believe this will go against the Blue Raiders.
Or it may be a face mask penalty. It's one or the other in that situation. It is the face mask. Baker's head did look like it took a little bit of a funny little twist there, and that's an indication of a face mask. And in high school football, face mask penalties are 15 yards, and Baker, it was a great play by the Palmyra defense until they grabbed the face mask, because they really clogged the middle that time for one of the first times tonight against Baker. They got the penetration up the middle. They guessed right on the play call, but somebody reached up, grabbed Baker by the face mask, and pulled him down. Because of that, Middletown has another first down.
At the 40 of Palmyra, backs are split wing near side, split to the far side. Blasi over center, waits. It'll be the sweep, right for Coleman. Cuts it outside at the 40 and down to the 30. Gary Coleman picks up the first down. They'll mark it at the 29 of Palmyra.
And Coleman did a great job that time of following his blockers correctly. He chose the exact moment when to cut inside, because Baker led him around the right side, picked his man off, and swung him outside. Saw his guard, Mike Dupes, coming to the inside of him, and wedged right between the block of Baker and the block of Dupes, squirted right in between there, and picked up 11 yards for a first down.
Timeout. We'll take one as well. 10:15 to play. Fourth quarter. Middletown 26, Palmyra 19. Back on the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Talk about service.
People are really friendly, and they are very helpful. They help you find what you need.
Talk about value.
I've saved as high as $25, $30 in 1 week.
Talk about quality and freshness.
Delis, fresh, everything's fresher.
Let's talk about all the reasons why Fox's Market make you feel good. Fox's Market.
Fox's is a proud supporter of Middletown athletics.
Make you feel good. Fox's Market make you feel good.
Welcome back, Middletown Memorial Field. John Wilsbach along with Brian Kaiser. I see sitting down here in front of the press box a few rows, Bob Shipp, former Middletown standout, now down at Millersville University, having an outstanding season. I'll tell you, those Marauders are having a real good year right now.
They're a tremendous team down there, and Bob, a former tight end, has to be impressed, I would think, with the blocking of the Middletown offensive line in this game, doing a great job opening holes for Coleman and Baker.
First and 10 at the 29 of Palmyra. Raiders with the football. Back split, give, left side, Baker, big hole up the middle of the 25, down to the 20, and inside the 20 to about the 17. A first down again for the Raiders.
And J.J. Baker again on that dive play. It's one of two plays that's been coming for Middletown. There's been only two plays in the playbook lately for Middletown, and it's all they've needed. The dive up the middle with Baker and the sweep with Coleman. Between the two of those plays, they've just been rolling up the yardage.
Baker, 20 carries for 137 yards in this game. First and 10 for Middletown for 17. Coleman will sweep it to the far side, tries to cut back, and he has nowhere to go as he gets forward progress to the 15 in a gain of 2. It will bring up a 2nd and 8.
And that's one of those situations, John, where Coleman might be better trying to get to the outside. He's got to realize that he does have the speed to break one to the outside, and Coleman just seems to be looking inside all the time. And on that play, the inside was clogged. Coleman dove up in front, was lucky to get 2 yards on the play. Maybe if he breaks it to the outside, one, he keeps the defense honest, and two, maybe he breaks to the outside and gets there first.
Raiders got split backfield, wing to the far side. Blasi gives right side. Baker finds a hole. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown. J.J. Baker. A 10-yard touchdown carry, and the Raiders up their lead, 32-19.
And J.J. Baker just bruiser. It's just a bruiser running that football. And he hits the hole so quickly that the other team, the defense, has to have the penetration to stop him. I made this point earlier in this football game. The defense to stop J.J. Baker must get penetration up the middle. And this time, again, from Palmyra, no pressure up the middle. Baker has a big hole and is able to get the acceleration going. And once he gets in the open field, you need a tank just to bring him down.
Well, Blasi has been unsuccessful tonight on the extra point kick. There's the snap, hold, kick is up, and this time he's got it. Timeout, we'll take one as well, 9:07 to play. Fourth quarter, it's Middletown 33 and Palmyra 19. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Metzler's Hillsdale Nursery in Londonderry Township has a variety of plants and flowers like hollies and azaleas. They sell young plum and crabapple trees. In December, don't forget that Metzler's has Christmas trees. They even have mulch. Metzler's is open 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. weekdays, 8 till 5 on Saturdays. That's Metzler's Hillsdale Nursery at Hillsdale Road and Gyers Church Road near Sunset Golf Course in Londonderry Township.
Welcome back, Middletown Memorial Field. John Wilsbach and Brian Kaiser, Steve Leedy. Sideline reporters, Mark Arnold and Matt Demme. Scott Bingham joining us tonight. I don't know where Scott's like wandering all over. I think he's trying to unload some of those WMSS Blue Raider mugs.
And you can get yours for a small fee.
A small fee. Great kickoff by Chris Blasi. Kuhn goes all the way back to his 10. He's out to the 15, sprinting to the far side, out to the 20, runs into his own man, dodges a tackle, and then tackled at the 23-yard line.
Heck of a shot there from Kuhn on his own man, just bowled him right over. Of course, he had the element of surprise going, too, because his own man didn't expect his own player to run right into him from behind. But that kickoff from Blasi, I'll tell you what, a lot of people around the area watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I know a kicker in Pittsburgh who can't get the ball as far down the field as Blasi did on that one, because Gary Anderson may get the ball to the 15 if he's lucky. Blasi got that one to the 10-yard line. A great kickoff with height from Chris Blasi.
So the quarterback, Matt Stauffer, brings him out. He's got backs in the eye. Give up the middle. It'll be Kohler. Oh, check that. It'll be Kreider. Getting up to about the 27-yard line. It will be a gain of about 5 yards. We'll call it 4, make it 2nd and 6 for the Palmyra Cougars. Middletown leading 33-19. Here at Middletown Memorial Field, the Raiders on the road next Friday night at CD East. Actually out at Landis Field at CD against the East squad. And back home in a couple weeks on a Saturday afternoon for homecoming. Stauffer, play action, looks left, throws, complete, and Kuhn catches it. Gets out to about the 31-yard line. He'll be shy of a first down by a yard.
Brought down on the play by Mike O'Donnell, but for Middletown, it was Ed Fox on the right defensive end. Saw that play coming, but couldn't get the arm up quick enough to knock that pass down from Stauffer. And Palmyra's looked for that little swing pass in the past, but in that situation, they were able to complete the pass and get close to a first down, and a big play for them here.
3rd and 1 for the Cougars. At their own 31, backs are split. Wide far side, quick pitch outside. Raiders trying to read it, but can't make the tackle. And then Kuhn is leveled right around the 31, and a late flag then thrown.
And Middletown, a player down. I believe that looks like Mike Dupes over there on the far side.
And the flag may be thrown for the personal foul. Well, they're going to call the personal foul against Middletown.
It looked like either a late hit or a spear on that play was what the officials saw on that one. A player coming in with the helmet. Not sure exactly what the call is, but because of the injury to Mike Dupes, that's going to bring Randy Hefner in the game. We'll have to see exactly what's wrong with Mike Dupes in the play, as he's in pain over around the middle of the field at the 30-yard line. That looks like about where the cutback was made on that play from Kuhn, and can't really speculate because I didn't see exactly what happened on the play.
Well, and the defense had stopped him shy of a first down, but the penalty will move it forward, and we've seen a few personal fouls tonight, some roughing the passers and some clips. Not a very pretty game. 7:13 to play in the fourth. Middletown 33-19 over Palmyra. Mike Dupes, a junior, his brother, the senior Jesse Dupes. Middletown Blue Raiders will be without the services we found out today for the rest of the season for Keith Welsh, who injured his knee the first week of the season, and Welsh kind of just waited a little bit, see if some healing would take place. I give him some therapy, but nothing happened. They went in and scoped it, and it must have looked ugly. So
it didn't look clean enough to play. Obviously, some sort of surgery was required on that one, arthroscopic surgery, and because of that, Welsh is out for the year. But he's a junior; he'll be back next year. And this is a guy that Coach Dennis Etsy says is a guy who's going to rehab strong. He'll work hard in the off season, and he'll be back for next year.
Well, Mike Dupes still being tended to. We'll take a timeout break. 7:13 to play here in the fourth. Our score, Middletown 33, Palmyra 19. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network. Dupes will walk to the sideline, limps a little bit, appears to be okay, but we'll get an official update in just a few minutes. You know, this is the 19 points that Palmyra has scored, Brian, is the most points they've scored on Middletown since 1980, when they defeated the Blue Raiders 34-6. And the last time they beat Middletown was in '85 with a 6-0 tally.
Well, actually, John, since the 1987 game, they scored 19 points going into this game.
Blitz is on, and Stauffer's going to eat it, then fumbles the football, but they will call him down at the 31-yard line. I think this Raider defense has had enough. Stauffer went back to pass, and the blitz was on. Excellent penetration. I don't know if he was trying to set up a screen or not on that.
You know, a lot of times that's a situation when you see as many players get through as did on that one. It normally is a screen pass working because the offensive line gets the little bump in and then lets their defenders go through. That time it didn't even look like there was a bump on most players because Stauffer just didn't have a prayer on that one, buried for a big loss.
Big loss of about 14 yards, second 24. Stauffer throws near side, complete. And a gain of about 12 yards to Shelton. It will bring up a third down and call it 13 for Palmyra. They're going to spot it at the 43-yard line.
I'll tell you what, this kid Matt Stauffer throws a really nice ball out there, and he's finding Brian Shelton a lot in this ball game. That time, just a simple out pattern down about 12 yards and straight out to the outside, and Stauffer fed him perfectly over the left shoulder for the reception.
Wishbone backfield, split to the near side. Give up the middle, and Kuhn will go nowhere as he stopped at the line, and now another late flag is thrown. It'll be a face mask against Middletown. Dennis Etsy is livid. So many late flags being thrown after the tackle. And again, we're not down there. We're not in the trenches. We don't have the white hat on. But, you know Dennis Etsy's bad when his hat comes off, and you can see him gleaming mad as he and his assistants are all yelling at the referee.
I think Dennis Etsy would rather have us down there on the field right now than the officials. We obviously don't know exactly from our vantage point if there was an actual face mask on the play. And quite honestly, it's tough to tell from the sideline. You have to be right on the middle of the play. The official was right in position. Give him a lot of credit. His nose was just 2 yards away from that play, and obviously he saw a face mask.
First and 10, and they give to the right side of the Middletown defense, reading it. On the carry was Kuhn. On the tackle was Craig Rao. And I'll tell you, that was our last-second defensive call by Dennis Etsy, making the change, seeing what the formation was, and quickly calling it in to his defensive teammates.
And the problem for Palmyra, Matt Stauffer walking to the sideline and saying, what are we running the ball? I think he's probably saying, what are we running the ball for? we're having so much success passing the ball, they're shutting down the running game. Let's throw the ball, Coach.
Well, they're going to do that. They've got a trips to the right side. 3 wide receivers. Stauffer back to pass. Throws it quickly over to Kohler, and he is knocked down and out of bounds. It will be a gain, well, actually probably a loss of a yard or two.
That's one of those plays on the far side where you want to use the elusive talents of one of your fastest guys, Kohler, and the important thing is they have to give him a chance on that play to get in the open field.
And that play was close, you know, to a lateral, really. The receiver stepped forward, then came back. It's going to be a loss of 4 yards, actually 2 yards. Our Mark Arnold is standing by down on the sideline. Let's go down to him for an update on Mike Dupes. Mark?
Thanks, John. Mike Dupes just hit his knee on the ground pretty hard. He's iced it right now, and he's going to sit out for the rest of the game. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Mark. And Mike Dupes, big key player for this Blue Raider team, only a junior, and a smart mover. And Corey, well, there's a few players who can come in for Dupes, and
Randy Hefner's one of them on the defensive end. This is a kid who has played very well in any action he's gotten at linebacker so far.
3rd and 14, Stauffer across the middle, intercepted. Back the other way for the Middletown Blue Raiders comes Hefner, as you call it. He's at the 30, he's at the 20, he's at the 10, touchdown! Randy Hefner, and we just talked about him, and he comes up with a big interception return.
And what a great play from Hefner on that play. Stauffer didn't even see him because Hefner drops back into pass coverage, gets into a lane, and reads the eye of the quarterback, sees the pass coming underneath him, and Stauffer knew where his receiver was going to be, and so often a quarterback on that sort of a play, when the linebacker is able to make the interception, what happens is the quarterback's watching his receiver, seeing him make the cut, and never sees the player standing there in the zone waiting. Hefner sticks the hands up, makes the pick, and behind a convoy of Middletown blockers, brings it back all the way.
And he brought it back 67 yards for the touchdown. The Raiders looking for the extra point here. Lozzie 1 for 3. Snap, hold, kick is up, and just makes it. We've got a timeout. 3:42 to play in the 4th. Our score, Middletown 40, Palmyra 19. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.
Talk about service.
The people here are so friendly. They're just terrific.
Talk about value.
I like Fox's because of the convenience, the quality, the prices.
Talk about quality and freshness.
I especially like the meats and the produce.
Let's talk about all the reasons why Fox's Market make you feel good. Fox's Market.
Fox's is a proud supporter of Middletown athletics.
Fox's Market make you feel good.
Randy Hefner really turning the tide. A 67-yard interception, touchdown return. Raiders now lead it 40-19 over the Cougars.
And that's that kind of play that a team like Palmyra this entire night, my hat's off to this team. They've put up a tremendous fight. They've been scrappy the entire night, and they've had plenty of chances to roll over and just say Middletown's the better team out here on this field, and we know it, they know it, and they have not done that. They've come back every single time. They've scored 19 points against a Middletown defense that is not that bad. I mean, it's not the best defense that Dennis Etsy's had in his tenure at Middletown, but by no means is it the worst defense, and they've come out and played very well.
Lozzie with a squib down to the left side, brought back the other way, and a big hit by Leonard Brown. He didn't give Palmyra's Mark McCullum much of a chance to return that. Cougars with a football, but really now out of this game.
And now, with the Cougars down by 21 points, you have to worry about the injury to Mike Deuce, worrying exactly what it is. Hopefully just precautionary that he's out of the game, icing his knee. Hopefully that situation clears itself up. Obviously, J.J. Baker, he twisted his ankle earlier in this game, but obviously he's had no problem as he came back and has scored another touchdown since.
Palmyra 1st and 10 at their own 35. Quarterback change in and a complete pass as Mike Witkowski, the 6'2 sophomore, makes a 4-yard strike, and it will bring up a 2nd down and 6.
Well, Fred Poorman of Palmyra, the head coach of Palmyra, realizing that Middletown has, with that interception return, really put this game away with 2:48 left to go in the ball game. This is a chance for him to get his sophomore quarterback into the game, get him some varsity experience against a team that still is very hungry out there on the defensive end in Middletown.
Wishbone backfield, 2nd and 6 for Palmyra. Witkowski straight back to pass under pressure. He's going to eat it all the way back to the 30-yard line as he is sacked by a Schiavone. Corey Reed, J.J. Baker, and Craig Loud giving him the welcome party.
Welcome to the game, sophomore, as he was just snowed under. And there was Baker on the left side. You had Schiavone from the right side, and you had Rao up the middle. And, I mean, the quarterback Witkowski wanted to step up, wanted to step to the side, wanted to step to the left, didn't have any place over, and he was snowed under by 4 Middletown players.
Like a tidal wave coming back here. He was hearing the Love Boat theme.
I'm not singing.
3rd down and 16 for the Cougars. Quick pitch, right side. It'll be Kuhn sweeping outside. He'll go nowhere. Again, excellent pursuit by the Raider defense. Jan Michael Lawrence and Josh Schiavone.
I guess if we're talking about the Love Boat thing, then you're comparing Fred Poorman to Merrill Stubing right now. That play call is there. Pitch to the outside. Just nothing there for Kuhn, and Palmyra is going to punt the ball away. And Middletown, fortunate in this ball game that Palmyra is not the caliber of team that they may be facing later on in the year. All credit in the world to Palmyra, but Middletown, the better team tonight, able to run the ball very well in this football game, and the mistakes that Middletown made in this ball game ended up not costing them.
Palmyra punts. Raiders are just going to let it go. And it takes a Palmyra bounce all the way down to the 20-yard line. Raiders were playing it safe. And the Middletown offense will set up shop 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. Let's fill you in again on Middletown Athletics as the Raiders will be playing a junior varsity game here at Middletown Memorial Football Stadium this Monday night against West Perry. That game starts at 7 o'clock.
John Stack given by Steve Leedy. Middletown in this football game, 7 penalties, 95 yards. Not something you see very often from a Middletown football team.
Well, 25 seconds remaining on the clock, and it's counting, and the Raiders will snap it one time. They lead it 40-19 over Palmyra. Wazzy comes it. And the clock counting down. Inside 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Raiders win this football game. We invite you to stay tuned for the post-game show. Our final score, Middletown 40, Palmyra 19. The Raiders unbeaten in Mid-Pan Division II Conference play. This is the Blue Raiders Sports Network.